Hey guys, welcome back to AZ Triumphster. So we're in the shop today. What's today? Saturday?
Yep.
New Year's Eve. We're going to be doing a couple cool things. So let's check with Micah and Bill and see what the game plan is. All right, what are you working on today, Micah?
Today we're going to be working on the rear motor mounts. So as you can see over here, we did the front ones. They were plate. Found that was a little bit boring, so I made them out of solid rod, kind of go with the round theme here. So we're going to be matching the same kind of feel and design concept with the rear mounts.
Sick. And Bill.
Pipes, man. I'm gonna make some X pipes for the front. Come across, keep them tight, look cool.
Sick.
Sick.
All right, so I'm just getting back from the hardware store. Just getting some miscellaneous nuts and bolts so we can do the motor mounts proper. Some decorative bolts that are expensive. We got Bill over here welding out the rear mount. Man, what is with the focus on this thing today? Yeah. So, well, let's talk about the exhaust first. What was the verdict? What did we essentially figure out?
So we're going to have to either reuse the factory ones or machine new ones that'll use the factory mounts. So that way we can taper in from, because 1.5 inches is what the factory exhaust was. And we're going to go with 1 3/4 exhaust.
Okay. And yeah, so reuse these,
yeah,
basically. So figuring out how to do that. Okay, so we'll be ordering some material.
Yeah.
And work on that next time. Okay, so we're just throwing full force at the motor mounts then. And so this is what Bill's working on. Welding this out. Looks good. And then what we're doing up here, can you run me through that?
So we're going to do some thread inserts in here. So that way we can do a nice flush mount in there and keep these nice and tight in there.
Right, with some button heads. And the reason we're doing that is because the tank couldn't clear the factory hardware and bracketry.
Yeah, when the tunnel comes down, it hit the factory bolts. So we need to make it a little bit tighter in there, so that way when it comes down, it'll cover all this, but we want to make sure it clears everything too, and can sit where we want it to, and have a nice even line with the horizontal line of the motor.
Perfect. All right. Well, back to it. Okay, so there's a little change of plan. What are we doing instead?
So the thread inserts, the rib nuts, were a little bit too wide to go through end to end. So what we're going to do is basically just do a thread insert in here to get a 5/16. So that way we keep a lot of the wall thickness, and then we have thread diameter that we actually want it to be.
Okay.
So we're going to put basically helicoils in it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, we are about finished up for today, but here is what we accomplished. Some rear motor mounts that match the front ones. It's got this kind of tubular thing going on. Almost reminds me a little bit of like a exposed trellis frame that you might see on like a Ducati or something like that. Obviously these bolts back here are a little longer than what we're going to eventually use, and I'll probably run button head with like an acorn nut. Same thing, I got some acorn nuts for those, much like that. Up here we threaded the inside on front and back, both of those, and basically used a button head, which is much lower profile. This will eventually have an acorn nut or a button head on it as well. Just so it was not overly wide, and so that because the inside of the tank is very narrow to fit over that part, so we needed to reduce its width up here, and it worked out perfectly. But yeah, so there's your profile more or less. This allows us to put the tank where we want to. The motor's situated where it's going to be permanently. Yeah, just everything is coming together quite nicely. So that's it. I don't know, what was that, about 5-6 hour day?
Yeah. Nothing like a glass of milk.
Yeah. So, time well spent. We're very happy with it. And until next weekend.